If you're ready to maximize your free time, deal less with the stresses of the day, and really get on with savoring every minute of your life after your career, then you're in the right place. Great ideas, tips, and inspiration to help make your life after all that work stuff richer, fuller, and more of what you want. This is Smart Retirement Life.
Hi, my name is Mark Hager, and this is Smart Retirement Life, a show where we cover ideas, inspiration, products, and services that can help you keep creating the life that you want. Today, I'm talking with Armand Lauzon, CEO of Belle Cares, a tech company that is bringing innovation to seniors in Tennessee with plans to expand nationwide. Belle Cares delivers wellness services to older adults, whether they are at home, in assisted living communities, receiving hospice care, and beyond. Welcome, Armand. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Mark. Really excited to be here with you today. Appreciate it.
Oh, no, I'm excited about our conversation. And I'd like for us just to jump right in. And why don't you tell us a little bit about Belle Cares and what you all do?
Sure, of course. So we were launched about 2 years ago in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. And we were originally intended to be salon and spa services delivered to any client who wanted it at their location. So think in-home massage, hair, nails, makeup, things like that. And what we saw maybe about a half a year through launch was that senior citizens were our largest demographic. For them, it's not just a great luxury or convenience. It's a really, really big need and really, really important to them and their lifestyle. So we started embracing that more and more, and now we are an alternative senior care company in that sense.
Very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the specific services that you're providing to seniors.
Sure. So we do everything from haircuts, nail services, massage, facials, makeup, even fitness, yoga, personal training. And we've seen seniors use a wide array of those services.
Interesting that you included yoga in that. I mean, I think that's fantastic, but that's very innovative.
Yeah. And, it's funny, as we've been diving into yoga more and more, one key phrase that I keep hearing is that flexibility is the key to longevity. Keeping people mobile and flexible and active is so important to the overall health of a person. And that's really, really important for us as we age.
Right. And I know for a fact that anything that improves people's flexibility or their balance, right, that's a very big prevention step you can take towards keeping yourself from falling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I wish more and more people did it. We were seeing it grow, but I wish every one of our clients did it. It's a fantastic service.
So what got you to get involved with all this? I mean, obviously you guys saw that so many of your customers were older folks, but what really made you take the step to commit to serving these people?
There is one client in particular that really stands out as the pushing point for us to really embrace this group. And it was an elderly woman in her 80s, and she just had a stroke, and that made her more or less bedridden for months and months and months. And for a really long time, the family didn't know how to provide her with basic services, haircuts, a simple manicure. And finally, one of her adult children, her son, found us and booked, I think, a massage, actually, to start off with us. And enjoyed the experience so much. Was a way to, I think at this point, she was bedridden for 2 months, which, if you can imagine, is just awful. Mm-hmm. And it was so incredibly wonderful experience for her that they started to book everything with us, almost everything, hair, nails, facials, and it became a weekly experience for her. And it was such a touching and compelling, wonderful thing that we were able to do, and her son was able to do for her. And, she really, at the end of the day, started to see all these professionals as part of her family, and would even cry when some of them would leave. It just became an incredibly important thing. It gave her humanity. It helped her recovery. It was incredible. And so we wanted that powerful story of helping someone in need. We recognize that that's a thing that a lot of people can benefit from. And even if you're not bedridden and in just simple mobility challenges and logistics issues, if you don't have a driver's license, that makes it really hard for you to get these services. And we wanted to embrace that and improve accessibility and create these amazing experiences.
That is awesome. Well, since you mentioned it about this son, let's talk a little bit about caregivers. I know that so many people, there's more people now providing care for a family member than there has been in generations. And we just have so many people, right? Let's talk about how this helps that family caregiver.
There are so many things that caregivers need to worry about. And I think the way I think about it, there's really two major categories of care. There's the medical care, healthcare, taking medicine, going to doctor's appointment. And as you age, naturally, that becomes an incredibly important and burdensome thing. It's a really, really large logistical challenge to just do everything that it takes to keep someone healthy. Then there's custodial care. Are they safe? Do they have food to eat? Helping them clean, cook, things like that. And I think what we see with our service is a third type of care that is so important. People know it's important, but it's many times forgotten to being healthy and being safe. And what we think that third pillar of care is really happiness. Feeling like a human being, having dignity, having fun, and enjoying every single year that you're alive. And our services allow caregivers to really extend beyond being, making sure that the senior is safe, healthy, but also happy. And that is one thing we think about every single day. When we're training professionals, when we're working with professionals, how can we make the experience as engaging and fun and dynamic and happy as possible? And so that I think that's one of the things our caregivers report to us all the time too, is that it's a great way to make people just happy.
Well, I've always believed that this idea of, whatever you want to call it, aging in place, aging at home, aging in community, it doesn't matter what term you give to it. If you're not building a life that is meaningful to yourself, right? If you're not experiencing happiness day to day, then you're just alive, right? You're not really living. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to talk to you today, is because I feel like these things that you're doing for people, it may seem like such a little thing, but to someone who is living alone, right? Or they're caring for a loved one, whether that be a spouse or a parent or whatever. These little things, it's the little things in life that make life worth living, right? And being able to feel, get up and say, "Oh, I feel human today. I feel like I look nice, or I feel healthy. I feel energized because I just had yoga," or whatever it is. That is so important.
Absolutely. And the older I get, the more I believe in that. Living in the present, appreciating small things, finding, there's always going to be something that stresses you out. There's always going to be, you're going to be sick some days and whatnot, but there's always wonderful things to embrace and to experience. And, it's actually funny. There was another client I was talking to, adult child, who told me that, their grandmother's bedridden. And he says that anytime that his grandmother gets her nails done, she turns into another person, almost like a teenage girl. Like, she gets excited, like the joy comes back. And I think that is that's spot on and kind of exactly is what you're talking about there.
That is so sweet. Oh, and it's gotta make the person who's helping her achieve that feel so great.
Oh, absolutely. This person, I was talking face to face with this person, there were tears in his eyes. It's cool. So,
well, listen, let's switch tracks real quick. Earlier, we were talking about a realization you had about the social component of your service and how that has made the effects of loneliness evident to you all with the people that you're working with. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and this is something that we, all of us here at this company, take so seriously. And not only is it the actual service that people care about, but it's the friendships that come from the professional and having this really meaningful social experience that our customers really fall in love with. And as we were realizing this and researching the senior industry, we noticed 43% of older adults report being lonely on a regular basis. And then with our own grandparents, my grandfather, for instance, his wife died 5 years ago, and he lives alone, and we're always concerned about him. And what we recognize is that if you can curate social experiences, that is in many ways the core value of what we're doing. And so a little side project that we developed for our own selves here at Belle, our own families, was actually developing a system using the technology we built for Belle Cares to curate family social experiences with a grandparent. So what that means is for my grandfather, we uploaded all my cousins, my brother, sister, aunts, uncles, and every day simple text would be sent out, say, hey, today's your day to call Pepper. We call him Pepper. And so we would all take our turns calling him. And we did that because we recognized with him specifically, calls meant everything to him. I'd call him maybe every other month. Now I call him maybe every other week, but calling him would brighten him up. You could hear it in his voice. My dad would even call me later in the evening, like he was just raving about how you just called him. It was a 5-minute call, 10-minute call, and it changed the course of his day. So we said to ourselves, you know what, this is a problem with all of our grandparents. We want to talk to them more. We want to be more connected. Let's create a system that organizes it and helps them feel connected to everyone. So we did that a couple months ago, and it had phenomenal results. My grandfather, one of my cousins never called him before. He called it a miracle. It changed the way his attitude and the way he lived day to day, and it was fantastic. So we're now trying to make that broader and more available to the public because we realize we want other people to experience that too, not just us here at Belle.
What's that going to look like?
So it's going to be an iOS app. It's called Belle Rings. And it's really simple but always evolving system where you put in the phone number of the loved one, and then you upload anyone you want from your contact book to be part of the system, and it will dynamically it'll generate a new number for that grandparent that forwards to whatever number you want of theirs, and it'll organize every day someone else to call, so they're never alone in a sense. That they're always being surrounded by diverse, consistent love across a family. And it's pretty cool. It gives you transparency. It allows for communication amongst the family. So my grandfather had a dizzy spell about a month ago, and that was really helpful to us. And you can involve caregivers too. So we're just kind of evolving it as we're learning more about what the needs are with our families and with others. But yeah, it's free and available on the App Store right now, actually.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'll make sure when I do the post on the site for this interview as well as y'all's information, I'm going to include a link to that so people can find it and use it with their own loved ones. So talking about this iOS app, let's talk a little bit more about what's on the horizon for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working really closely with senior communities and post-acute care. And we're recognizing is that those are obviously where a lot of seniors are, where our services are really needed. So, for instance, a senior community, they might have 75 seniors living in a community, and that might be enough to justify a hairstylist 2 or 3 days a week, but they can't organize a facialist, a massage therapist, a nail tech, so they're kind of only left with one type of service. So we think our platform is a natural fit for these communities and these organizations that are caring for seniors to tap into our network and offer a wide array of services. And then with Belle Rings too, that's a great way to involve the external community and family members into the senior community and just increase quality of life overall. And same with post-acute care. As people are going through rehabilitation or temporarily in a skilled nursing facility, these are all services that can be really, really helpful and impactful in improving outcomes and improving life. And then as we kind of build those relationships, we envision ourselves expanding geographically with those partners, as that'll make just natural expansion and scalability more feasible.
Excellent. That's all really, really good. And I'm happy to see that you guys are being forward thinking. I mean, not just for the longevity of your company, because because I feel like we need more companies that are looking at these problems a little bit differently, like you all are. And I mean, obviously, I want that, but also you all being able to get to the point to where you've expanded nationwide and you're working all these different settings. It's just going to give more options to families, right? It's going to give them more options to make sure that the people they care about are taken care of. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the work that you're doing to bring light to the issue, and that's why we're embracing it too. We see this really, really big need, and we're glad to be part of it.
So the last thing I wanted to ask you about, and this is something I try to talk with everybody that I interview, is how does your company give back? Obviously, the Belle Rings app, you making that a free app, that's fantastic, and I think was a great experiment for you all to see how it impacted your own lives right there in the company. But and then making that free to other people is fantastic. But there in your community and even nationwide, how are you guys getting involved with the people that you're serving?
That's a great question, and we think about that all the time. One of the things that we've been doing to try and better understand this community is really getting involved in local organizations that support them in nonprofit ways. So one of our team members is part of the board of 50 Forward, and that's really important. We've done a few events at the YMCA, giving away free services and spreading awareness, and just really been doing events at nursing homes, just hanging out, doing bingo with people. Like, we've done that a few times. So we just try and stay involved as much as we can beyond just creating a really, really awesome service that they really need, and just making that commercially viable for them. And one of the side things too, beyond just seniors, the professionals. This is really interesting side effect that we've noticed is nail techs, hairstylists, massage therapists. As we saw seniors taking off, we were wondering, how would they take that? Would they like this demographic? And would they like changing the way they work fundamentally? And what we saw was absolutely. They love it. They think they have been able to take their craft and apply it in a way where they're not just providing a fun service, they're providing something that is so needed and has an emotional impact. And so it's actually really life-changing to their careers, and they've reported to us that they want more and more of these clients, and they want to really embrace it with us. So I don't know, it's been interesting that I thought of, but beyond just trying to serve this group, we're also indirectly making professions more meaningful. So just for what it's worth.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And I can totally see that. I mean, you're not to reuse the word you just used, but you're helping them have a greater sense of meaning from the work that they do, and giving them more satisfaction that, not only are they, providing a service for a fair dollar amount, but they're really helping someone feel better or have a great day or improve their mood or how they feel about themselves or whatever. I mean, they're really helping people and contributing in a positive way to their lives.
Oh, yeah. And that sense of value and purpose is important to every single person, for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I hope that you all have enjoyed hearing about the innovative way that Belle Cares is getting wellness services to people and how they're helping to improve people's lives by taking them directly to them where they live. Armand, I want to thank you so much for being with me today. I've really enjoyed our conversation and hearing about the work that you're all doing.
I'm here, Mark. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And thank you all for listening. Again, I'm Mark Hager, and this has been Smart Retirement Life. Have a great day.